Welcome back. Now that you have practiced recognizing and diffusing depressor thoughts and storylines on your map by thought labeling them and practicing the metacognitive skill that is listed here on page 52. I'm going to make this a little bigger again so you can see that. Okay? By practicing right here. Okay? What do you notice? Now that you've practiced that, what do you notice about those thoughts? What do you notice about those negative thoughts? What do you notice about those storylines? The more you practice this, you're going to recognize these thoughts and storylines begin to lose power. They begin to lose their edge. They begin to be diffused. They begin to lose their impact on you. And they become just thoughts or just storylines, just depressor storylines. Now, the important thing is, the reason why we map these out is so that during the day, when you are going throughout your day and you notice you have one of these thoughts pop into your head, you can immediately shoot right back and say, it's just a thought. Or you have one of these storylines going through your mind. You recognize it, and you can stop it by saying, it's just a storyline. And then you're able to come to your senses or use your sensory awareness skill. Listen to the background sounds, the sound of a fan. Feel your feet on the ground as you walk. And notice what happens to those depressor thoughts and storylines as you thought label them and as you use the sensory awareness skill. You'll notice they begin to lose their power. And the more you do that, it slowly chips away at them. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that you do this one time and boom, they lose their power. This is something you have to practice. It's kind of like running. You're not going to show up on the day of the marathon and run a marathon. You have to practice. You have to run every day. You have to build up to it. And it's the same thing with these. You have to practice this skill every day. And the more you practice it, the more you build up, the more power it gains, and the more you're able to diffuse your depressor thoughts and storylines. And so that's that. Okay, well, let's go on. We're now going to talk about the depressor's partner called the fixer. Okay? So we'd like you to go back to your map on 3.1. And so we're going to go back here. So you're going to go back to page 50, and I'm going to go to the example map on page 49. Okay? And I'm going to activate my pen. And here we go. Now, what I'd like you to do for every thought with 3 check marks, I'd like you to draw a line to the outside. Okay? And for each of those thoughts, I would like you to write down what it is you have the impulse to do when you look at that thought. So I'm a loser. Well, when I look at that, I might have a story going through my head about why I'm a loser. Maybe it's, say for example, I just got fired. And so I'm telling myself I'm a loser. And so maybe I don't think it's fair that I got fired. And so the impulse that comes to my mind is I'm going to go tell my boss he's wrong. I'm going to go tell him, hey, you're wrong. You shouldn't have fired me. Okay? Here, my grades are too low. And so maybe the impulse I have to do about that would be, well, maybe I'm going to pull an all-nighter then and stay up late and study all night. And that way, I'm going to know everything, and for sure I'm going to pass my classes if I study all night long. Well, here I'm overweight, so maybe the thought that comes to my mind is I'm gonna go to the gym. for 3 hours every day. Now you'll notice one thing about these is they tend to be a little extreme. Okay? And these are some of the thoughts that come to our mind when we have depressor thoughts and storylines. We have thoughts that come to our mind about, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to make that all better? You see, this thought right here is trying to fix this thought right here. This thought right here. This thought right here is trying to fix this thought right here. And this thought right here is trying to fix this thought right here. But it's not trying to fix anything about that thought. See, each of these thoughts have associated with them body tension and mind clutter. And what it's trying to do is it's trying to take away the unpleasant sensation caused by that body tension and mind clutter by trying to fix that thought. It's trying to fix you. Okay? So in other words, this depressor is trying to make you feel like you're damaged, like something's wrong with you. And then the fixer kicks in with thoughts to try to say, hey, how am I going to fix you? How am I going to make you all better? But there's just one problem. You're not damaged. You're not broken. Okay? So what happens when you try to fix something that's not damaged and not broken? It doesn't work. Okay? It just perpetuates the problem, as we're going to show you here in just a minute. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you on your maps to do the same thing. Now, I believe we have an example map in here. Let me just check that real quick. Let's erase those, get back to my cursor here. And if you look here on page 53, here's an example map of what I just showed you. Okay? So now I'd like you to go back to your map on page 50, and I would like you to do that to find out what thoughts come to your mind to try and fix the mind clutter and body tension, to try and fix whatever thought that is. And once you've completed that, I'd like you to go to the next video. Thank you.